All right, UFC 313, Pereira Ankalaev. All right, I'm gonna break down the card. Honestly, just a few fights, the important ones. All right, so I'll start with Bobby Green, Mauricio Rufy. I'm gonna go Mauricio Rufy. I'm not gonna lie. Rufy didn't look amazing in his last fight. He looked alright, but he kinda gassed later on. I could see maybe if this goes decision, Bobby winning like the third round maybe, but at the same time it's like I'm not gonna bet that. Like I think Bobby probably gets KO'd here. Yeah, that's probably what my pick will be. Rufy by KO, but there's a chance it goes decision. I still think Rufy's winning 2 rounds at least, so we picks Rufy. Skip that fight. Let's just talk about the main fights. That's what we're here for, really. So Gaethje Fiziev. It's a good one. It's a rematch. I don't know. The first fight, I did score it for Gaethje. To be honest, though, I think I might have had money on Gaethje, so maybe that's also why. But the first fight was close. Like, you could have gave it to Fiziev. It was a very, very close fight. I don't know. It's weird because Fiziev's the favorite. I think Gaethje underdog is low-key, like, I think you could get some money on that. I think it'll be a close fight again. It's like, how are they both going to come back? Fiziev's been out for at least a year because of an injury in the Gamrot fight. And then Gaethje just got KO'd. Well, not just got. Like, what is it, like 10 months ago, I'd say? Not 10, 11 months ago, got KO'd by Holloway. So, one thing I like about Gaethje is he's taken the time off, and he said that for I think 6 months he didn't like spar at all, or he didn't get hit in the head at all, which is really good. I'm looking at you, Volk. But I don't know, man. This I think will be similar to the first fight. They both might low-key just look worse than the first fight, though. I can imagine it. The thing is, like, do I think Gaethje's chin's gonna be gone? I don't think so, man. I don't know. For some reason, I know everyone says that it probably will be. That's fair, but I don't know, bro. I really like that he took those months off sparring. I don't know. I probably won't bet on this fight at all, just because there's so many if factors, like how is Gaethje going to come back, how is Fiziev going to come back. I think there's a chance. I mean, what if Fiziev cracks him with an early right hand and just puts him out? You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to happen, but I probably won't touch this fight money-wise. But if I had to give you a pick, you know what, man? We're gonna go with the favorite. We're gonna go with Fiziev. I could see him winning 2 rounds. I think, maybe Justin might feel his shots a bit more. I know it's short notice technically for Fiziev, but it's like how I would assume Fiziev's been training, especially because he was dying for this opportunity. I would assume he's somewhat ready for this. So I'm gonna go with Fiziev. I think he'll get it done by decision probably, but who knows? It could be a knockout, especially with how the JG's shit is. All right, now we're moving on to the main event: Ankalaev Pereira. This is an interesting fight. The odds are pretty much a pick'em. Alex is a slight favorite. I think that's fair. I see a lot of people online thinking Ankalaev has no chance against Pereira, thinking like he's just gonna get cooked, because they bring up his stats and show he has a 30% takedown accuracy, which again, it's true. I mean, stats are important, but at the same time, I feel like if you watch the Jan fight, man, watch round 4 and 5 of the Yan fight. He was taking Yan down with very little difficulty. Now, at the same time, Yan as a fighter is somebody like... I mean, the same thing happened in the Glover fight. You know, Yan looked pretty good in the round 1. And then as soon as he got taken down, it was wraps against Glover. Yeah, Yan is... He's a better offensive wrestler than he is defensively. You know what I mean? I honestly think Piotr Yan's kind of like that too. But Piotr does have pretty... Like, he has takedown defense skills. I think his biggest problem, though, is more that he just keeps a high guard. But, anyways, I think... So I'm gonna lean Pereira. I actually was picking Ankalaev when this was first announced. But there's a few factors that are keeping me from picking him. First of all, and I don't want to use this as an excuse, because everyone will say, oh, excuse, you're coping, whatever. But, I mean, it is Ramadan. It is Ramadan, because I had to train for the last month in Ramadan. And the worst thing is I feel like the weight. Now, the weight cut. Now, somebody, if anyone is Muslim in the comments, like, does Ankalaev have to, like, adhere to the Ramadan rules, like, during his weight cut and rehydration? Like, because this is my biggest thing. If Ankalaev has to weigh in the morning and make weight, and I know you can't eat or drink till sundown, right? So, if he has to spend the entire day without eating or drinking after he weighs in, I'm sorry, he's not beating Pereira. Like, I genuinely think that will make a big difference. Like, you can't just sit there at that weight for the whole day and not eat or drink. Now, I've heard online, though, that some people are saying it's not as strict as some people think. Like, he can eat or drink, and then maybe at the end of the month, he can add on an extra day to Ramadan. Is that how it works? Because I've heard if it affects your lifestyle, you can make little... it's going to affect your life greatly by not eating or drinking. Like, you can... I don't know, there's some rules or something, but... If that's the case, I hope that's what he does. If I had to guess, I would assume so. Like, come on, like, who is really weighing in, cutting all that weight, weighing in, and just sitting like that the whole day? I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna try to assume Ramadan stuff is okay. Now, looking at the actual matchup, I think so. On the feet, I think Pereira... Well, Pereira's obviously the better striker. Now, I think Ankalaev has pretty underrated striking, especially boxing. One fight that really impressed me, and I know people were not impressed with it, but was the Rakic fight. He outstruck Rakic for 3 rounds. And I had some money on Rakic by decision. Just because, like, I thought it was plausible, because I thought Ankalaev probably wouldn't shoot. I was like, I could see Rakic outlanding him in 2 rounds. He did not. Ankalaev beat him up on the feet, bro. Now, he didn't finish him or anything, and I think a lot of people are looking at the Yuri fight and being like, oh, well, Yuri destroyed Rakic, he knocked him out, whereas Ankalaev took him to a kind of boring decision. And, like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, please watch Yuri Rakic again. Rakic outstruck Yuri for 98% of that fight, bro. He was outlanding him, rocking him with every combination. Like, it was not looking good for Yuri. And I'm not saying that doesn't always happen to Yuri. It does, but I mean, if you look at the Jamal fight, look at other fights, like, he's had competitive fights on the feet with people. But, like, that fight in particular, he was getting killed on the feet, bro. And then Ankalaev fights this guy, and he's outlanding him on the feet pretty comfortably. Like, I just think it's impressive from a striking standpoint, Ankalaev, how he was doing against Rakic. Now, against Pereira, I think the striking with the hands, I think the boxing will be pretty close. I think the biggest problem for Ankalaev against Pereira is the leg kicks. You know, he did well against Rakic with the leg kicks, but, you know, everyone remembers the Jan fight, what happened there. And honestly, Alex's leg kicks are they're better than Jan's, I would say. They're, you know, less easy to check. Well, you can't really check Jan's, but less easy to, like, you don't see them coming. You know what I mean? I think Ank's gonna probably have a bit of a hard time with the leg kicks. I'm sure he's prepared for it. If I had to guess, he's probably gonna... If he sees Pereira throwing a leg kick, maybe just pressure off it, try to throw a 1-2. Maybe he might go for a takedown. We'll see. The other thing about this fight that I will say, I think Ankalaev will shoot this fight. I think some people don't think so. I don't know how you think that. He will. He's going to shoot. I'm calling it. I promise you. He will shoot. Okay? He's going to shoot. And let me tell you why. He lost his last fight, his chance to become the champion against Jan, by not shooting. Right? The first 2 rounds of that fight were close, but you would probably give them to Jan because of the leg kicks, right? Round 4 and 5 was when he was like, okay, I'm down, I need to start shooting. That's what I think his corner told him, or he realized that himself. And when he did, he killed Jan. Round 4, he won that fight round easily. Round 5, 10-8, Ankalaev. Jan did absolutely nothing that round, because Ankalaev actually shot on him. Ankalaev is going to shoot on Pereira. He is not going to let another title chance slip by just purely because he's like, I want to strike with this guy. No, that's not happening. I promise you. He's going to shoot on Pereira. And I think he can get Pereira down for sure. I think he can. I think he will be the best wrestler that Pereira has fought. Jan's another good one, like offensively. I think the biggest problem with this, though, comes from the fact that Ankalaev doesn't really have a finishing threat on the ground. Like, I don't think he takes down Pereira and subs him. I don't think he takes down Pereira, like, maybe he could ground and pound him, but, like, I highly doubt it. That's where a problem comes in for Ankalaev. I think it's just going to be hard for him to finish this fight anywhere. Maybe he could catch Pereira with his hands on the feet. You know, I think Ankalaev has great boxing. I think the problem comes from the leg kicks. I think another problem is that Ankalaev on the feet is somewhat stationary. He's not a huge mover, which, you know, isn't great per se against Pereira. We saw Khalil, someone who moves a lot, do well against Pereira. Ankalaev's a bit more stationary. He's going to stand in front of you and box. I don't know, man. I'm going to go with Pereira. Money-wise, I have Pereira decision, no bet. So basically, if Alex wins in the distance, I make money. But if the fight goes to decision for Alex, or if it goes to decision for Ankalaev, I get my money returned to me. The only way I lose money is if Ankalaev finishes him. And I just don't see a big Ankalaev finishing side here. He could catch him with the hands. I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I'm just not going to bet on that. So, yeah, the pick will be Alex Pereira. I think the factor of Ramadan, I think the factor of, you know, Ankalaev just probably not going to be able to finish him. I can see him winning a round or two. I can. But I just think eventually, with him staying in the pocket, his path, I think, on the feet being mostly boxing, I think he could get him in dangerous situations against Pereira. And I think eventually Pereira will probably catch him and put him out. So, the pick will be Pereira by maybe, I don't know, round 3, we'll say like round 3 KO, maybe. I think it'll be a little bit later in the fight. So, yeah, we'll go with Pereira.